It's like dog hair, me hair. Ugh. Shedding is not fun. Puppy. Hi, puppy. You want to say hi? Nope. Keep. Back to this. Okay, so this is the second video in my One Piece reunions series that I'm kind of doing. Oh, the dog is moving. Oh, never mind. And this one is going to be kind of the first half of the Grand Line, the first half of Paradise in the Grand Line. So kind of, you know, from when they enter the Grand Line, you know, up further through that. I will make a caveat here because I forgot to mention this character in the East Blue video. I forgot to mention about Ippon Matsu, the sword shop guy, who, you know, Zoro got his swords from. I forgot to mention about like him because I just kind of blanked on him. We know that he kind of like really likes Zoro at this point in time. And, you know, I don't know if him and Zoro are ever going to, like, interact again. Maybe they would. I don't know. But I just don't. That wasn't really a huge thing because it's just, like, they're in, like, an exact town that actually has, like, Marines all over the place around it. So, in Log Town. So, I don't know exactly how that would work. You know, whether or not they would end up there or not. And, of course, like, they've already interacted with, like, Tashigi and Smoker multiple times. So, the dog is staring at me again. What? So as I said, okay, the lights keep blinking and I don't know why. I apologize if the lights blink throughout the video. First up on the list, we have Brook meeting up with Laboon and Crocus, because of course we know that part of, you know, Brook's dream is that he wants to, you know, get back to Laboon, get back to Crocus, so that way he can... Let me help the dog. Hold on. What? What? I love you. Yes, I do. I love you. He's like, you're talking about a skeleton reuniting with a whale. Pet me. He's like, I can't go, the door is closed. I love the dog. In regards to this, we know that the Brook's goal is, of course, he wants to make his way back through so he can see Laboon again and see Crocus and, you know, play the song that he has on the tone dial for Laboon, so that way Laboon, you know, can hear them sing again. And of course, it's, you know, the Straw Hats want to see Laboon again anyway, because like they were, you know, he became their friend. You know, way back at the beginning when they first started in the Grand Line, and, you know, see Crocus again and everything. And also kind of be like, why did you tell us you were part of Gold Roger's crew? Type moments. You know, I mean, you know, I just like, I don't know exactly what he would say about that, but still, that'd be funny. And of course, that I can just see results in like this big party. Again, there's lots of parties that are going to happen, but like, of course, the Straw Hats love to party. You know, the Straw Hats love party. It's like at the end of almost every arc, we get like a big party that happens. You know, oh, they finally defeated, you know, Luffy, you know, defeated Arlong after this whole big East Blue saga, and like now, of course, big party at Koshikasha Village. They, you know, they save Alabasta, and, you know, now they're gonna have a big party here and everything, and, you know, down on the line, they have lots of other different big parties that we have throughout the course of the series. And what we also see happen is, or what I can imagine happens when it comes to this, is, you know, Brook gets there, and of course, like, Laboon kind of, like, looks at the ship, and, like, I can see that, like, Crocus has, like, maybe shown Laboon, like, the posters of Brook, like, his wanted posters, his Soul King posters, and it's just, like, I see Crocus, like, looked at those, and it's just, like, this skeleton looks familiar. And, like, you know, he may not have 100% made the connection right away, but I can see that maybe, because I think we know that, like, Rayleigh went and visited Crocus at some point, maybe. At some point during, like, the 2-year time skip, I think Crocus, or Rayleigh went and visited Crocus. I think maybe that happened. And then, like, maybe he mentioned, like, oh, well, you know, this whale, you know, the skeleton that's on the Straw Hats crew is actually this whale's friend from, like, the the Rumbar pirates and everything. I'm just like, really? It was just like, yeah, it's him and everything. So it's like he knew who you were and everything. You know, I'm sure Luffy has like mentioned things about that. Like he was on the island with, you know, Rayleigh was on the island with Luffy for like 18 months on, you know, Ruskina training for like 18 months. I'm sure they talked at various points of time. Like maybe Shanks asked, or maybe Rayleigh asked about different members of the crew, and like Luffy told him about them. It's like, oh yeah, there's this whale at the beginning of the Grand Line and everything. And like I can see that it was like they get to back to the lighthouse, however way they end up getting there, via go over Reverse Mountain again and land there again or whatever. But like they get back to Reverse Mountain and they get to, you know, where Crocus is at the lighthouse there with Laboon, and like, you know, Laboon still got like the paint on him and everything. I can see that maybe like, you know, Crocus maybe like touched it up every now and then, you know, like as like salt water would like wear off the paint. So I can see that maybe like, you know, Crocus like retouched it up every now and then. And I can see that like, you know, they get there and like, you know, I can see that Brook like pulls out his violin and like starts playing that. When they get close enough and like Laboon hears that, like he hears Bink's sake being played, and like you know, like maybe he comes up from where he was underwater, or he like sees the ship or whatever. And you know, I can see that like Frankie maybe like set up like a bunch of speakers all over the place to like play Brook's music, you know, Brook playing on like his violin or on, you know, on piano or whatever. So that way it'll like play, not like blast it like rock and roll, but like at least amplify it so that way Laboon can hear it. And then like they get there and then like, you know, Brook comes out and he like sees Laboon. And then, like, he pulls out the tone dial after he kind of proves to Laboon that he is Brook from the Rumbar Pirates. And, like, I can see Laboon just kind of, like, looks over him. And he's just like, I don't know. And then, like, you know, and then Brook, like, shows, you know, Afro and everything. And, you know, he, you know, pulls out the tone dial and, like, he plays the tone dial and it plays, you know, Bink's sake of all of them singing one last time. And, like, Laboon recognizes it and recognizes that, yes, this is Brook and everything. And, like, they have that whole big, you know, that reunion between the two of them and everything. You know, I can very easily see that. I can see that happening very easily. And that's probably going to be one of the things that we actually see happen in regards to one of the reunions we'll actually see happen in the manga. That's not just like, oh, a 1 or 2 panel type thing. Probably. I hope. And, like, you know, Crocus sees them and, like, they talk and everything. And, like, maybe Chopper and Crocus talk about doctor stuff. Maybe. And then we would go on. Then the next island they would technically hit would be Whiskey Peak. But there's not really anybody else on Whiskey Peak that they would end up interacting with. The only ones that they would maybe interact with would be, like, Mr. Nine and Miss Monday. Who, like, as I mentioned in my couples videos, actually, like, they're, like, married now and they have like, a child and everything. And, you know, maybe they at least like recognize the Straw Hats, and like maybe Straw Hats recognize them from like when they helped Vivi and Igaram and everything. And like maybe so there's that there. But I don't think there'd be like a huge thing. It's just like, oh yeah, we got to stop at Whiskey Peak again and say hi to people. So there's probably not that. But then like we get to, you know, then we get to Little Garden where we have like Dory and Broggy. And there's a couple of different ways that like this reunion can happen between like Luffy and Dory and Broggy. Between the Straw Hats and Dory and Broggy. And the last time canonically, I believe that we saw Dory and Broggy was during one of the cover pages. And I think, I don't remember which cover page it was, but it was like during one of the cover pages, one of the cover stories. And like they're still on the island, they're still fighting. But I do not believe we have gotten an update on them since Hyrudine became a member of the Straw Hat Grand Fleet. And as I said, there's like a couple of different ways of saying though. There's either A, the Straw Hats land on Little Garden and like they see that Dory and Broggy are still fighting and everything. You know, every time the volcano goes, they fight and everything, you know. Maybe that's one thing, and like they still see them and like they talk to them, like maybe they have a party with the giants and everything, and you know, maybe Luffy finds a way to just like make them stop fighting or something like that. I don't know. But then the other side of that could be that, you know, because Hyrudine went back to, or supposedly went back to Elbath after everything that happened on Dressrosa, and he got like Gerd and Goldberg and, you know, Road and all of them, and Stanson, you know, got them, and like they are the new giant warrior pirates. And if Oimo and Kashi had also returned to Elbath, and then like they found out that, oh, these guys are forming the new giant warrior pirates, and like he explains, oh well, we're part of the Straw Hat Grand Fleet now. Oimo and Kashi may mention to Hyrule that, oh well, you know, Usopp told us that like Dory and Bragi, our captains, are our former captains, are still on Little Garden and still fighting after 102 years, whatever, at this point in time. And you know, maybe we could go there with you, and we could go there and try to get, you know, Dory and Bragi back, you know, try to get them to come back home and everything, because they're stubborn idiots at times. And, you know, I can see that Hyrule would be okay with that. So maybe Hyrule, you know, they found their way back to Little Garden. I don't know how they would find their way back to Little Garden, though. The whole thing that they would have to do is like literally leave the Grand Line and then go through whatever way and then get back to the beginning of the Grand Line and then get to Little Garden. So I don't know exactly how they would do that, but it would be possible. But I don't know how long that would take. You know, we don't exactly know how long that would take for like them to get back to Little Garden in whatever form that would be. And, you know, so it's the possibilities are either A, Dory and Bragi are still on Little Garden and still fighting, and like, you know, the Straw Hats show up there and maybe they find a way to like kind of make them stop fighting, you know, or maybe they just continue fighting. I don't know. I don't want Dory and Bragi to be fighting for literally like another 100 years or whatever. You know, I don't want that to be the case. I would like them to be able to like finally stop their fighting and like go back to Elbath. Like the two of them admit they do not remember why they were fighting, and like it's not important, and like they're just friends, and like maybe it's just time you go back to Elbath. Go back home, go see your families, go see your crew. They want to see you. You know, I can see that that's something that happens. Like, they eventually end up back there. And, you know, the Straw Hats would still be very happy to see them and everything. But I do not think it's going to be that, like, oh, the Straw Hats arrive on, like, Elbath in whatever next arc happens with Elbath, wherever that goes. I don't think it's going to be the Straw Hats land on Elbath and then, like, oh, Dory and Bragi are here. Oh, look, Oimo and Kashi. Oh, look, all the giant warrior pirates are here. I don't think that's going to happen. I don't quite see that happening. But, like, so they would interact with Oimo or Dory and Bragi again and everything. Not too much would happen there. And then one of the other big stops, of course, would be when they stop off at Drum Island. Now, we have had, of course, updates on Drum Island because we've seen, you know, you know, Dr. Kureha and Dalton have stated that, oh, yeah, we know what's going on with the Straw Hats. We've seen, like, Chopper's bounty go up. And we had, like, a little a little, you know, beginning of paradise reunion between, you know, Vivi and Dalton and Kureha at the Reverie when, like, they interacted there. And so it's like we saw that. So we got, like, a little mini reunion there. So we see some of the Straw Hats allies there. And, of course, they met, you know, Rebecca and Scarlet, or not Scarlet, Rebecca and Viola and Shirahoshi and everything, and Sai and everything at Reverie. So we know about that. We know that, like, those guys at least kind of know that each other are, like, allies of the Straw Hats. But the other thing is that, you know, they get back to the, you know, now is the Sakura Kingdom, you know, you know, is now the Sakura Kingdom, and, you know, Usopp, you know, Chopper would see that they have, like, their flag has, like, the cherry petals on it, and he's, like, very happy about that, and, like, he gets to see Kureha again. Now, admittedly, the last time that Chopper saw Kureha in person, she was kind of yelling at him and, like, throwing things at him to get him to leave so that he'd actually go with Luffy, and I think Chopper, like, realized that that was just her trying to get him to go, motivate him to actually go, that she would be fine on her own even without him, and everything. And of course, you know, we know that Kureha is now kind of like this, you know, head doctor on you know, Drum Island and everything, with like the rest of the whatever the other Ishin 13 or 64 or however many other different other doctors they had on the island. I don't remember what they were called. The Ishin 77, I don't know what they're called. The other doctors that were on the island, but we know that, like, they're under Kureha's kind of you know, command to a degree. Knowing them, hopefully knowing her, that she didn't, like, jack up everybody's prices on their medical care on Drum Island. But I don't think Dalton would let her do that. And of course, Dalton is king. of Drum Island now, and like Dalton doesn't have any fear of Walpole again. We saw that at Reverie. He's not afraid of Walpole anymore. I would like it if Dalton would learn hockey. That would be helpful. But you know, it's just like Chopper being reunited with them and everything would be very nice. You know, he gets to see Kureha again. Like he gets to go and like visit, you know, Hiruluk's grave, and like kind of sits there and like tells his father all the stuff that he's done and how brave he's been and everything. And like, yes, that, you know, yeah, I'm a monster, but I found my friends that accept me regardless of whether or not I'm a monster and everything. And like, you know, we see that, and we see like just how much better the Drum Island has gotten in that time frame. You know, Chopper gets to actually see what, you know, Hiruluk's dream had been. You know, see how far that dream has touched this island, how much further it has made this island go, and how much better of a home that it is for the people that live there. So I can kind of see that happening for Chopper, for like landing on, you know, when they return to Drum Island, and like sees all of his, Kureha is essentially Chopper's mother. She's essentially his mother. Just go with it. She's essentially his mother. After Hiruluk died, she's the one that raised him. And then, of course, Chopper and Dalton weren't necessarily, like, always at, like, butting heads. And, like, in the end, they kind of seem to get along. And, like, I think that Chopper would be happy to know that, like, Dalton has, like, pushed himself out of Walpole's shadow and gotten so much better. I'm going to do a different video where I kind of talk about, like, the Straw Hats reuniting with, like, past enemies. And that's where I'll talk about, like, if, like, Chopper and Walpole end up interacting again. I'll do that in a different video. But then the last one that I have for this part of the first half of the Paradise would, of course, be the Straw Hats reuniting with Vivi. Now, there's two different ways there's kind of two big ways this can go, and like some smaller ways. One of the main things, of course, currently in the story, we do not know the current status of Vivi. We think that something happened with Vivi. As the reader, we think that something happened with Vivi, that she's like maybe trapped on Marijois at the moment, maybe with Saba. Something happened. She's like a key to an ancient weapon is one of another theory. She's the key to like Pluton or Uranus, whatever. She's the key to an ancient weapon is kind of the theory. And then like Eam had her captured and like possibly Cobra killed, and then like maybe like Pel and Igaram and Shaka are like captured as well, or like maybe they were able to escape, but like Vivi's still captured right now at Marijois. And it's either, you know, there's a theory that like after everything finishes up with Wano and the Straw Hats end up getting finally like reading the paper and like seeing what actually has been happening outside of Wano, because like, you know, Wano doesn't get communications, but like they find out what happens outside of Wano, what's been happening, you know, what happened after the Reverie and everything, and they're just like, oh my god, we have to go save, you know, Sabo and, you know, Vivi and everything. We have to go save them. And then there's like whole different, you know, theories about how that's going to go. They have to go and they have to save Vivi. They have to break into Marijois. They have to get her. They have to do all this other stuff. That's one of the theories. You know, work with the Revolutionary Army. That's one of the theories about what's going to happen. And then after that, then they go and continue back on their adventure and, you know, find the other poneglyph and then go to, you know, Laugh-Tale. And that's one of the theories. The other one that I just want to go a little bit more on the happy side of things just for a minute. Just let me have the happy side of things for a minute. Is that like maybe Vivi is okay. Maybe she's back on Alabasta at the moment. Like maybe her father did die, but like Vivi's okay, and like maybe she's been proclaimed queen. Well, she's okay in the fact that she's like physically okay. She's physically not captured, but like her father died, so she's obviously not in the best mental state. But like she knows she still has to do what she needs to do to protect her kingdom. And, you know, she becomes, you know, the queen of Alabasta. And, you know, so she's no longer princess, she's the queen. And, you know, she's got Pel and Igaram and Shaka there with her and everything, and like Koza and everything. She's got them. And, you know, at whatever point in time the Straw Hats do end up meeting Vivi again, you know, it'll be a very happy reunion in the fact that it's just like, oh, yeah, you guys are okay, and I'm so happy for you guys, and, you know, I'm so glad that we're still friends type of moments and everything like that. And just, you know, like another big party on Alabasta, and like if the big war breaks out between like the pirates and the world government, then I can see that like Vivi would be like, Alabasta would be like one of the countries that would like raise the Straw Hat flag along with Drum Island, the Soccer Kingdom, that they would raise the Straw Hat flag as one of their own. It's just like, we are part of the territory of Monkey D. Luffy, of Straw Hat Luffy. We are a member of his territory, and we will fly his flag. And I can see that happening. I can very easily see that happening between, you know, those two islands. You know, there's like Fishman Island does the same thing. I can see there's a few other places. Like, I can see Dressrosa doing the same thing. You know, flying Luffy's flag because they owe Luffy a debt. And they will show that debt by showing, you know, their loyalty to him and everything. And I can see that happening. But, you know, it is either, you know, Vivi is like very happy to see the Straw Hats, or they have to go and rescue her. And she's still happy to see them, but she needs to be rescued again. I'm sorry, Vivi, you've kind of been turned into the damsel in distress at times in this series. I apologize for that. But, like, I can see that happening. And, you know, one of the other things is, I would like it if Vivi got, like, some form of, like, a power-up. But, like, I can see that, like, if it does end up being that she is, like, this key to either, like, Pluton or Uranus, you know, Uranus, whichever one you want to go with, if she is, like, this key to that, then that would technically be a power-up for her in the fact that she is, you know, oh, I'm what's needed to, like, drive Pluton, you know, drive this battleship. Like, I have to be a member of, I have to be on the battleship or something like that. You know, maybe there's that, or maybe there's something else, and, like, she gets a power-up that way. I would be okay with that. I always kept trying to figure out what type of a devil fruit would be good for Vivi. And, like, because she has, like, her peacock slashers and everything, and that was kind of just one of the things that she had, I always wanted to go with, like, a peacock would be, like, a really good one for her. But the thing is that you seem to turn into the gender of whatever animal devil fruit you ate. So it's like she would just turn into a peahen, not a peacock. So she wouldn't have, like, all of the feathers and everything that she could use. So I was just like, well, that ain't gonna work. The other one would be, like, give her the Sunasuna no Mi, because she's, you know, the princess of the Sand Kingdom is one of the other things. So, you know, that would be also good for her as well. But that would require Crocodile to die. And then we have no idea where Crocodile is at the moment. Well, he was on some random island, but I don't know what's happened to him since then. But, you know, I can see, you know, Vivi either needs to be helped, or she is now the queen of Alabasta because her father was killed at Reverie by the Gorosei under Eames' orders. And, you know, now she's like the queen, and either they're giving her this ultimatum of either A, you give us whatever information you have about, you know, Pluton and anything else, you give us that information, or we're going to come back and we're going to capture you and all of your high-ranking officials, and then we're just going to take it from you. And we're not going to kill how many people in your country we have to cleanse in order to get what we need. And then it would either be either A, the Straw Hats go and help her from Marijois, or they go to Alabasta and try to help her, or she shows up and, like, helps them. That would be good. I really wish they had found a way to give, like, Vivi a Viva card. But, of course, they didn't really know what Viva cards were when they last saw Vivi. And unless Sai had his Viva card with him when he was at Reverie and gave, like, a piece of it to, like, several of the others, I don't see that happening. I would like it if that happened, but I don't see that happening. I would like it if they could get, like, Viva cards to, like, Vivi and Shirahoshi and, like, some of the other ones, but I don't see that happening at any point in time, unfortunately. But, you know, that's kind of where I wanted to leave off on this one. Hopefully, like, I hope Vivi's okay, but I'm not going to be surprised if she's not. Like, if she's in, you know, prisoned with Saba at the moment, too, on, like, Marijois, like, those two talking would be interesting. Saba would be like, oh, yeah, we know about your revolution that tried to happen in your country a little while ago. Yeah, we know that your brother, my brother is one that helped kind of fix that fix what happened there with Crocodile. Yeah. We've actually been watching your country for a while now, and we actually think that you guys are actually very good rulers. Dragon and I and Koala and the rest of us actually think that you and your father and your family for the last several hundred years have been very good rulers of your people. You know, I can see that Saba and her have, like, that type of a conversation. Saba and Vivi have that conversation. Vivi, I'm glad you think that. Now, who are you? Type moment. Yeah, I can just see that happening. So, that's what I have. I don't want Vivi to die. I love Vivi. I don't want her to die. I don't want Saba to die either, but I have no idea what's going to happen. So those two, that part of the reunion, like, for Vivi and the Straw Hats, is, like, a little bit based on, like, okay, whatever information we get about where Vivi is actually at the moment, what happened at the Reverie, all kind of depends on, like, where that reunion is going to go. It's either going to be a much sooner reunion, or it's going to be on their way back just through the Grand Line and they see Vivian. Alabasta again. Either one. So that's what we have. I thank you for watching. I hope that you enjoyed the video. The next one that'll be for this series will be like the other half of the other half of Paradise. So Jaya up through Saba Odie. So that's what we have. I thank you very much. I hope that you enjoyed the video, and I hope that you have a nice rest of your day. Bye. You want to know the secret to my youthfulness?